My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this review will have some spoilers, so there's your warning. But this is a movie considered by many to be one of the greatest movies of our time. Now, that said, I still went in with lowered expectations because I do not like the other two movies in this trilogy. But I was still hoping to be pleasantly surprised, and you know what? I was not. I did not like this movie. You can say what you want, but it's a movie that I found to be very boring, and it's a movie I'll never watch again. But let's talk about what I do like, and the musical score is absolutely phenomenal. It is just perfection. It elevates each and every moment that it's present in, and man, like Ennio Morricone really did an incredible job. But it does frustrate me, like he's got this grand epic sounding score going on, and then it's just focusing on Tuku running around in circles, and it's like what a waste of a great score. But I do like the sound of it. Clint Eastwood, I think he does a fine enough job here. I do wonder why he's considered to be the good, because he doesn't help people. He's a con man. He lets people die. I don't know why he's seen as the good guy here, but I guess he's less bad than the other two. Then you've got Eli Wallach as Tuco, who I thought did a very good job. He has lots of personality and just really highlights how low of a character this guy is. Then you've got Lee Van Cleef, who does a fine job, but what a stupid decision to cast him in this movie. Because he played Mortimer in the second movie, so I was very confused for a little bit. Like, what's going on? Did Mortimer take a dark turn? And no, they just casted the same guy as a different character. Like, I don't know, that to me is like if you casted Alec Guinness as Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. Like, he could have given a great performance, but you'd be watching Return of the Jedi being like, that's Alec Guinness, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I found it to be very distracting. I was watching this movie with my brother, and we kept making jokes about how evil Mortimer is now. And just whatever. I do think this movie is well made overall. The production design is great. I like the cinematography and the editing, especially in the final showdown. Where it's just focusing on everyone's eyes and where they're looking. And it just keeps you in suspense. And I do think there's a legitimately good story here. But the issue is, at 2 hours and 40 minutes long, this movie is just way over long. If this movie was an hour and 40 minutes, I think I would have loved it. But at the lengths it is, it just drags. It was really boring to watch, and there's so many unnecessary scenes. Like, there's this section where they come across the Union, and they're fighting with these other people over a bridge. And I get what it's going for about mankind's desire for violence, but it doesn't lean into that nearly enough for it to be thematically resonated. And it just felt useless. It just felt like padding to make this movie longer. And I also found the inciting incident of this movie to be very weak. Like, Manco just leaves Tuco in the desert, and now Tuco wants his revenge, but I don't know, it just doesn't have any weight for me to be engaged, for me to be invested. It's a TV show, so you can be like, Gavin, the comparison's not fair, but I will say it time and time again. Arcane Season 1, the emotional hook of what Powder and Vi go through has so much weight and emotion behind it that it's impossible not to be engaged afterwards. And here I'm just like, oh, like, am I supposed to kill right now? Like, okay, so this is the story, I guess. And then they introduce the gold, which I feel like gets introduced way too late. I feel like you could have trimmed the 45 minutes quite easily or just made it a backstory and just kind of start with the gold. But I don't know. That I found to be just like it's just this movie is a series of and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens, and I prefer it when it's therefore this happens and this person does this, so therefore that happens, a series of cause and effect. But here it's just like, oh, they bump into the Union because for some reason they couldn't heal all these people like 5 meters away, so they have to get captured. And it's just like, okay, and then this happens. And it's just not interesting storytelling to me. And on top of that, look, it's all subjective, so if you love this movie, fine, but the Deus Ex Machina in this movie is absolutely ridiculous. There's a scene where Tuchel is trying to kill Manco, and then all of a sudden a cannonball hits the building and he's saved. And then he's about to kill him in the desert, but just then there's a cartridge going by, and I'm just like, look, if this was a modern movie of a big franchise, you would all be complaining about Deus Ex Machina. It's very lazy storytelling. So, look, I do like aspects of this movie. I think if it was an hour shorter, I could have gotten really engaged. I think you've got yourself some good performances, some good characters. I do like the music. And I like the makeup effects when Clint Eastwood is all sunburned. You really feel like he's a man in pain, but man, it is just too long. It's not engaging enough. The inciting incident lacks weight, and I just feel like it drags. So say what you will, but my opinion is my opinion. So I'll give The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly a 4.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly? Tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.